Gwyneth Paltrow just released some juicy deets about her diet in her latest podcast reveal with Dr. Will Cole. It took the internet literally by storm. So many people on Instagram started sending me messages. I opened up TikTok, I opened up Instagram, and all I see is Gwyneth Paltrow's face in this clip.
I have bone broth for lunch a lot.
Whew. If you have seen this viral video and it angered you and it frustrated you, I want you to take out your anger by punching the like button. Trust me, try it. It feels really good. Just hope that just like, that feels good. If you haven't done it yet, I'm gonna give you another 5 seconds to give that like button a punch before we get started. Okay, so when I saw Gwyneth's post, I was like, of course. I expect nothing else in all reality, but let's go through this clip because it is quite alarming and there's a reason why it became extremely viral.
What's your wellness routine look like now?
I eat dinner early in the evening. I do a nice intermittent fast. I usually eat something about 12. And in the morning, I'll have some things that won't spike my blood sugar, right? So I have coffee, but I really like soup for lunch. I have bone broth for lunch a lot of the days. Try to do 1 hour of movement. So I'll either take a walk or I'll do Pilates or I'll do my Tracy Anderson. And then I get in the sauna. I dry brush and I get in the sauna. So I do my infrared sauna for 30 minutes. And then for dinner, I try to eat, according to paleo. So lots of vegetables. It's really important for me to support my.
So first and foremost, Gwyneth is saying that she has an early dinner and she likes to eat breakfast the next day at 12 p.m. That is a very long fasting window. So let's talk about intermittent fasting for a second. Dr. Stacy Sims is an amazing person who really brought into awareness this whole idea that intermittent fasting is not appropriate to women. All of the research done on intermittent fasting have been done on men because women's hormones messed up the whole shebang, right? So they decided to just take women out of the studies and study the effects of intermittent fasting on men. But then they gave us all this information about intermittent fasting, making it seem like this is suitable for everyone when indeed it is not. There's been a lot of awareness on how intermittent fasting isn't appropriate for women online by a lot of doctors, and I've really appreciated it. We're just gonna listen to a couple that I have found.
Women should not fast. Women should not exercise the way men do. Women should not actually have six packs like men can. It's virtually impossible for them to do it and have healthy. I put a challenge out there on Instagram. Any lady that fasts and tells me they're healthy, I would love them to jump on this show and like to get blood work done first. I'd like to get blood work and Dutch test done, and I'll show you it's not. If a woman has a six pack, if you're an over CrossFitter and you actually are on Instagram showing yourself in your shorty shorts and your six pack, I will personally pay for your labs to get done to show you that you may be fit, but you're not healthy.
So Gwyneth's diet is not starting out great, and it doesn't get any better by noon when she finally decides to break her fast with a cup of broth. Now listen, ladies, I love broth. It actually is really good for you. It does have a lot of vitamins and minerals, and it does offer great support for your digestive system. But when did we decide that broth was a meal? Broth is not a meal. Broth is something to add to a meal. Broth is something that you cook your rice in that you can then eat with butter and chicken and veggies and sour cream and guacamole, and it is not a meal in and of itself. But she's saying all of this like, well, this is what I do. I intermittent fast. I'm doing everything perfectly. I'm intermittent fasting. I'm drinking my broth. And then I go and I do my workout. So here she is working out, she's hardly eating. And in my experience, when you hardly eat and work out, all you're doing is depriving your body because your body actually needs a lot of vitamins, minerals, fats, proteins, calories, and carbs to actually make exercise a productive thing. We may think that we're being athletic and healthy by moving our bodies every single day, but again, if we do not have the nutrition to sustain that, then we are just depriving our body, and that is when we run into a lot of hormonal issues. That's when we run into a lot of premature aging. That's when we run into a lot of bone density issues and things like that. Like, we've known this for such a long time. So really, she is just deteriorating her body by doing this, and you can tell by looking at her that she definitely is not looking her best. And now I want to be mindful when I say this because there's so much pressure for us to always look our best and always look youthful and young and all of that. And so I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad for going through the natural aging process, but I think it's really abundantly clear when we look at pictures from the past of Gwyneth and pictures now, we see the difference. And these are things like dry, brittle hair, a gaunt face, looking kind of very pale. Those are some of the things that we classically see in someone who is malnourished. And so I think that is kind of the difference we're seeing in the look of Gwyneth. So again, I just want to make sure that people don't feel bad for aging and for not looking their best all the time. But I think it's clear to see that her diet that she is promoting, that she's saying is leading to her health and her wellness, might not actually be doing what she thinks it's doing. And it's pretty clear to see that just in the way she looks. So then after her workout routine, she goes into her early dinner and she says that she likes to keep it paleo, meaning some sort of protein and vegetables. Now, this is not enough food. If you have, let's say, half of your plate with vegetables, which she probably does, if you have half of your plate with vegetables and the other half just some protein, it's like, where's the carbs? Where's the fat? Where's all of these other things that we need to help sustain our health? This is an extremely low carb diet, which we know as a woman, we're gonna have a lot of issues creating enough progesterone when we don't have enough carbs. We're gonna have a lot of issues with fatigue, a lot of issues with our hormonal cycle if we are not getting enough carbohydrates. It is absolutely essential. I cannot say that enough. And her diet is looking really low carb, really low calorie, and just not enough nutrition, not enough substance, right? We can't just subside off of hardly anything and then fill our belly up with a bunch of vegetables at the end of the night. That is only going to cause a lot of digestive distress. A lot of the girls that come to me, they come to me because they're dealing with digestive issues. And lo and behold, I find out that they are literally over-consuming vegetables. Yes, it is a thing. We can over-consume them. They have a lot of fiber. They can be really rough on our digestive system. And they don't offer that much nutrition, especially when we take into account the fact that a lot of vegetables have things like corticogens and anti-nutrients and things like that. Now, I'm not saying fear vegetables. I'm not saying don't eat vegetables. But what I'm saying is that vegetables aren't the holy grail of nutrition, and we can't rely on them for sustaining our health. Another thing that we can't utilize to sustain our health is supplements and IVs, and yet Gwyneth seems to think that that's what you can do. She was talking later on in the podcast how she absolutely loves getting her IVs. She loves getting phosphatidylcholine choline IVs, which are like very fringe and hard to find, but she was saying, but I had my source, whatever, right? And I get these IVs and I love them and I feel great. Here's the thing, you don't need to go out and get a fancy IV to get enough choline. You simply just need to go to your grocery store and pick up a very common food that you will see in every single grocery store. What is that, my friends? This is the good old edible, incredible egg. Eggs have a ton of choline. So instead of doing these things that are just so out of reach for so many people that, you know, companies like Goop make you feel like unless you're doing this, you're not healthy. You need IVs, you need supplements, you need all this stuff. I'm like, no, you don't. You just need a wide variety of food. Choose good quality when you can. That is what you need for health. If she just ate eggs, if she just ate more food, she would be getting all of that choline, and she would be feeling good naturally from the food and not these crazy expensive IVs and supplements. So the thing that I wanted to bring up here before we wrap this all up is the fact that she is talking to Dr. Will Cole. Why is this doctor, someone who is specialized in hypothyroidism, thyroid disorders, and autoimmune diseases, why has he not ding, 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 this is a little unhealthy, this is maybe going to lead to a low metabolic rate? Like, how do you understand the thyroid and not understand eating enough? The thyroid is suppressed by eating too many vegetables, especially when it's green, like cruciferous vegetables like kale and cauliflower and broccoli and like things like that, right? The thyroid will be suppressed. And when the thyroid is suppressed, well, that is in charge of our metabolism. So now our metabolism is suppressed. We need enough carbohydrates to convert T4 to T3 in our liver. Like, this is literally like biology 101, right? Like T4, the inactive form of thyroid hormone, is created into T3 in our liver. Our liver is run off of glucose. So we need to be eating carbs to make sure that our liver can produce enough T3. So again, it's like, how is this doctor not like, excuse me, actually, we shouldn't be supporting this. We shouldn't be uploading this to millions and millions of people because this actually probably isn't a supportive way of eating. for some reason, we have in the past couple of decades, I think, and specifically this past decade, we've really equated wellness with starvation. Is that not true? Like, if you think that is true, please hit the like button and like let me, I need to know that you know that this is what's happening. We have, though. It's all about, oh, I'm so good, I didn't eat that. Oh, I'm eating 1,000 calories. Oh, this is only 400 calorie thing. Oh, it's like we promote this as healthy. So who is this Dr. Will Cole? He is like any other celebrity doctor, right? Who has a book and a podcast and his new trendy little diet. He created a book called Ketotarian. That is what it's called. Basically, it is the keto diet for people who are vegetarian and vegan. Like literally as if the keto diet isn't restrictive enough and as if vegetarian diets weren't restricted enough, let's combine the two. So doing a little just like a little review on Amazon and listening to the reviews of other people, this is what it said. This person said, this book was recommended by a physician. I'd like to say it was enlightening, but a quick read and the whole eliminate everything from your diet and you'll feel better approach is tired and useless. And I'm like, yes, like, I don't get these people who claim to heal digestive issues just by eliminating everything. Like, can you imagine you coming to me being like, every single time I eat, I feel so bad. I'm so bloated. I hurt. And I'm like, oh, well, why don't you just try drinking air for the next 3 weeks? And why don't we come back and talk about your digestive issues? Oh, Chloe, I feel amazing. Yes, my digestive system is working great. I'm like, no, it's not. You haven't been using your digestive system. So you can't tell if it's working great or not. And here's the thing, like in my mind, health does not mean I'm taking a bunch of supplements, I'm on IVs every week, and I am eliminating every single food known to mankind. That's not health to me. Health is actually, hey, I'm not taking any supplements and I'm not using any IVs and I can digest everything. And I'm happy and I have balanced hormones and I sleep well and I have sustained energy throughout the day. Like, isn't that health? Why is health all of a sudden now just like not eating anything? It's the weirdest thing to me. I don't know. I don't get it. By the way, if you're someone who deals with digestive issues and you have been restrictively dieting for a long time or you're in like quasi recovery, I have a masterclass called Awakening Your Digestive Flow. I go over the foundational keys that you need to maintain good digestion. This is not an elimination diet. This is not a take all of these foods out and like, you know, restrict yourself. This is you understanding how to activate your digestive power after years of restriction. We talk a lot about the psychosomatic connection between digestion and your emotions and your thoughts and your feelings and your beliefs. And it's just tackling this whole digestive issue thing more from an energetic perspective and less from a let's totally eliminate all these foods, because usually you're having digestive issues because there's such a heaviness around food. Anyways, I dive into it in my masterclass. It's fun. It's a quick, just 4 modules. The link's down below if you're interested. Okay, the next review here was, I would like to return. Just finished reading. The technique is just not practical, too restrictive. And that's the whole thing. It's not practical. And things that cause too much stress in our life, things that cause us to say no to parties and to be overly hyper aware of our food, that's never going to equate to health because there's so much stress, and stress is the antithesis to health. So it's like, how are we not connecting these two anymore? And it's like, again, you could tell me like, Chloe, if you just ate broccoli for the rest of your life, you would have perfect health. I'd be like, no, I wouldn't. I would not, because I would be dead inside. Like, I would not be able to enjoy myself, and that in and of itself would be unhealthy. So actually, thank you for the advice, but I would not be healthy. Gosh, this is just so overwhelming at times. You know what? This whole thing with Dr. Will is just so 2023. Like, don't we just expect this from every famous celebrity doctor? It's just, it's crazy to me because I'm like, it's just crazy to me because we have so many different people in this world from so many different backgrounds and so many different issues going on, that how can we think that just one diet is going to be the thing to heal them? Like, that's crazy to me. That's why I never teach a diet. I teach principles of like, hey, you're being overly restrictive with your food. Yeah, add this stuff back in. Add it however you want, whether that's in a curry or whether that's like in a risotto. I don't care. But make sure you're getting enough meat. Make sure you're getting enough carbs. Make sure you're getting enough whatever. Eat your cultural food. Totally, 1000%. I like don't tell people to be restrictive. I tell them to understand the key things that their body needs to thrive and to make sure they get enough of it and then to enjoy themselves and eat food. And guess what? The people who work with me tend to be really healthy at the end of our time together. They tend to get their period back. They tend to have their fertility back. So many people have gotten pregnant. They have energy. They're no longer obsessing and thinking about food. They're sleeping well. Their hair is growing back nice, thick, and shiny. Okay, this is health, right? This is health. This is shiny. So different than what Gwyneth's hair looks like right now. Anyways, I don't even know why this is like a shock to me at this point. It's just like what we see. This is why we really got to armor ourselves against diet culture, and we really have to understand what true health is. So just a little reminder to wrap up this video. Health is you being happy. Health is you living in a flow state. Health is you having good community around you. Health is you having good digestion, which usually comes from you letting go of all fear and anxiety around food and learning how to just eat, let go, and have fun. Health is the amount of smiles you have in a day, the amount of hugs you get. That's all I have for this video. If you're curious about my experience with restrictive diets, I was vegan for 5 years and I came out with a really cool video of why I left veganism. That one got a lot of views. You guys seem to really like that one. Also, I talk a lot about orthorexia. So make sure you click on one of those videos. They are absolutely fascinating and will help you kind of see nutrition and health in a way different way. All right, love you guys. Talk to you later.